So everything is based here in the cabinet itself. The way that you're going to operate, normally it's going to be a two-man crew. You have all your working components here, from your pump to your boiler to your control panel. All your accessories are going to be based in this cabinet. If you ever have an issue, you're going to come over here, you're going to start your day and pretty much finish your day in this cabinet itself. So the main components that we do have in here is going to be your Cat 3560 pump, 20 gallons a minute at 3,000 psi. Every connection that you're going to use and see on the truck is going to be a 1/2 inch. So you got 75 feet of 1/2 inch hydraulic hose with 1/2 inch couplers, Eaton style fittings. So male, female fittings. You have 3 accessories: a spinner nozzle, a dual jet tip, cutting tip, and then a single. This is going to be your dead man handle. Some people, so this is already stuck. Some people obsolete that and just go straight to the hose, to the lances. 6-foot lances, you get 3 of those. The way the actual water flows into your pump is going to be from your water tank, which this truck has a capacity of 1,600 gallons of water. So you have your water inlet supply from your water tank through one butterfly valve here in the back, coming to your inlet supply line, tees off here where you can dump, and then flows into this butterfly valve here as well. So if you ever need to shut off your water, there's going to be 2 access locations. Your water then comes into your pump. It doesn't go straight to your hose reel. All the time, it will always feed to your boiler. So it'll go from tank, pump, boiler, discharge to your hose reel. This is a 700,000 BTU burner. You can turn it on by flipping the switch and having your power inverter on. This is a 5,000 watt power inverter in case you need to charge Milwaukee batteries throughout the day, cell phone charger as well. Right now it does appear to be off. So again, in order to turn on your boiler, you can turn on your power inverter, flip this to on, dial in your temperature. This is in Celsius. We do have a cheat sheet here on this side, Celsius to Fahrenheit, and it's gonna get water pretty hot. If you do decide to use this, this is a good application for hard rocks, clays, things like that. It's really gonna cut through it like butter. When you do turn it off and when you're done, you do want to drain the hot water out, or else the water will sit stagnant inside all the hoses. It could also melt the seals if it's sitting stagnant here too. So turn this off, let the water run for about 3 minutes. You're definitely going to feel cooler water coming through. So that's the way it's going to run. We take this out of the factory at 3,000 psi. You can tune this down by loosening up on this spring here. If you have a certain application which requires 1,500, 1,800, 2,500, just loosen down these 2 hex nuts at the bottom, and it's going to decrease your pressure. If you ever need to change this consumable part out, this is what we call the unloader. It's not going to be set. So when it comes from us, so when you do set it, you're going to want to crank up the engine RPMs, turn on your hydraulics, and then rev this pump up all the way to max. So you have max RPMs on your chassis, max speed rotation, discharge of your pump, dial it in, and then bring it back down if you have to. So this is your unloader itself. This right here is going to be your relief. If you do happen to overpressurize your system, this should pop off at about 3,500 psi. So if you say you got water coming out of this hose, it's because you got too much pressure coming off here. Normally when we change your unloader, you'd want to change this. If it's not popping yet, it will eventually pop. So maybe for every 2 unloaders, you're going to have to replace one of your relief valves. This does come set from the factory, so you should be able to plug it back in. This is a grease point for your hose reel itself. We just call it a 1/2 inch swivel connection. You're definitely going to want to put a little bit of grease in there. Probably something we're going to talk to Pete about. Air retract hose. You're 75 feet out. Nobody wants to turn this itself. You do have a lock mechanism which you're going to want to use. This is already, that wasn't in there. But when you're hydro excavating, spread your length of your distance out on your hose and then come lock it up. If not, this is just going to continue to shake and shake with the water going through it, and then it will
come back
coil up. Yeah. So definitely lock that during your engagement of discharge. So as we move here, this is your control panel. This is a newer style. Some of the older trucks do not have this. This is a safety feature. Normally when an e-stop is engaged, this cuts on, you won't be able to discharge any water or hydraulics. So you're going to want to come over here, press that, and you can utilize your pump. Over temp, we have sensors on the truck itself: blower, transfer case, water pump, and hydraulics. They all look like these orange things here. These are your temp sensors. So again, you have a temp sensor coming in for your pump. This is going to read the discharge of the manifold head itself. We have min-max levels set for everything. Once you hit a maximum level, the audible alarm will not turn off until you bring the pressure down to a reset level. Not operating conditions, but reset level. So again, you have one here. You can see there's a couple placed on the blower itself. The front lobe, and then the front housing, and then the rear housing is going to have its own. So there's two.
Where's the other one?
I guess right there, right?
That is it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're going to have them on the other side of the hydraulic tank, and then on the bottom side of your transfer case. Daily operations, you're going to want to actually close this valve and check your 2-inch filter screen, because you can get, depending on your water source, you can get all kind of things stuck in here.
How do you do that?
So you're just going to turn this off here. You're going to drain your water out. Doesn't seem like you'll have any water in there now. So this is your 2-inch water screen. This actually looks pretty good. But I mean, you can see there's some dirt stuck in there. This can cause a problem. It can cause cavitation. Whatever that is. Looks like leaves.
Yeah.
So it can cause cavitation in the pump, but this is something that's going to help increase the life of the valves itself, because obviously anything that gets bypassed here is going to go straight to your pump. If it does get too clogged and it can't filter out correctly, then you're going to create lots of air pockets, and this is just going to hit, and you're going to wonder what's going on. Daily check. This is one of your daily checks right here. I would definitely recommend keeping one for the truck. I mean, I think this itself is maybe a $20 part. This whole thing, this whole inline, with this already installed, maybe $50. So maybe keep one of those on the shelf as well. I guess the tank is empty. There's the water. So normally that's how I also figure out if you got water supply coming in. Open up the water supply line. This is obviously filling up. There's water overflowing into here. Turn it off. Okay, I had it closed. So now you got good water supply there. So that's how I also test for your water supply going to the pump. So now I've eliminated all the air pockets. Now we're good to go. If you want to work off your wireless remote, you start here. You have the top left function is going to be wireless or panel. So right now it's in wireless. If I flip it to panel, or I guess it's remote off, now I can utilize the hydraulics manually. As let's say, for instance, you lose the remote, the signal's bad, you lose your antenna off the top, you get constant disconnect, power lines, things like that, you're definitely going to want to change this to the manual mode. Also, if you're going to use manual mode for your pump, you switch it to manual mode for your pump. You engage your 1 to 10 indicator. Each indent of 1 through 10 is going to be about 300 psi. Obviously, max 3,000. So flip that back. Cruise control. Your engine parameters. Right now, it is set to on. When we say engine speed, this allows you to bump up your engine speed on your remote itself. You do want to have this off as you're driving down the road. You're going to have a green PTO light with the gear on it, and most of the time you'll lose acceleration capability, so have it off. If you ever see a green PTO light on, come turn this cruise control off. So I'm going to turn it off for right now. Obviously you can bump your increase and decrease sporadically when you need to. Manual overrides for your hydraulic coolers. If you look on the rear of the truck, it's the van body, you have 2 coolers. This is the air water, so you got a couple more. Main cooler fan is going to be the larger cooler fan. On this truck, it is the right cooler fan. The smaller cooler fan is dedicated to the transfer case itself. It's a closed loop system. The transfer case hydraulics do not cross paths with the truck hydraulics itself. The truck hydraulics is going to be moving this thing in and out, opening your debris tank, pressurizing the pump as well. The lower 2 is going to be dedicated just to the air compressor itself. So that explains the transfer case. I mean, the cooler fans themselves, work lights, obviously your work lights. Van Air, this truck is a little bit different. This does have our air package. This is capable of producing 180 CFM at 180 PSI. So you got pressure with volume. So there's a PTO button on the dash itself. We'll can engage that a little bit, but the most important thing is supplying power to this panel. There's a toggle switch on the left side. The steering wheel, or I guess close to your knee, toggle switch engages power to this panel, and then you turn it on by just pushing the button in, and then you have your air system. So that is independent from the other aspects of the truck. It should be hydraulic. It should be a PTO shaft driven off the side of your transmission itself. So any questions about this package, this setup? Well, actually inside we can also see we have a glycol tank. This should be about 13 gallons of glycol. When you're going to winterize, definitely in this area, very important. I can tell you, and I can send you some YouTube videos. Winterization is a must on these trucks. I can walk you through the scenarios. I don't want to waste your coolant, but you will need to go ahead and get yourself some glycol. We do install RV glycol on here. It's in our neck of the woods. It's about I'd say about $6 a gallon or something like that. Get it at your local auto parts store. Have some jugs. I would go ahead and fill that up right now. What the system is actually going to do is you're going to want to pump your water out of your pump itself. And it will take a while because, again, you're going to want to close off your lines. You're going to be draining the entire burner itself. This is a coil system. It's about this size in diameter. And from the ground, I mean, it's obviously that tall. So it's going to be about this tall. Very thin copper tubes. You're going to have to get all that water out of there. So it's going to drain. So after you turn on your pump, you're going to want to engage. What you see here is going to be this supply line is coming to this valve. It was actually a one-way check valve, so it's going to have to be forced up that way. So you open up this supplies water into here, supplies water into here, and then supplies water in your pump. You continue running your pump. That water, this glycol is going to gravity feed into here again, back into your boiler, so and then discharge. Yes, the water is going to be being displaced, and right behind it, you're going to chase it with your glycol. So you push out your water, and then you move the glycol through it, and you're literally just going to sit here, push the water out by turning your pump on, open that up, and then you'll see the pink. And that's the reason why we do have the pink. You can have pink, you can have blue. If you got pink, I would definitely recommend it because you can see it better. That's why we have the pink in there. And literally, once you start seeing that splash of pink coming out of your hose reel, you have now winterized your whole pump. And then to reclaim it, you turn it back on, you engage it, you hook up your hose reel to this, and you will then force that glycol back into this tank, and then you can chase it back with water when you want. One thing with this truck is you can run the PTO down the highway. I'd have to look. This truck may not be capable of doing it. Your other trucks, your non-air units, you can. You can turn on your boiler, you can turn on your pump to about 5, and then you can connect to the water recirc connection. So you can have your hose connected here, and you can run hot water over the road. Let's say, for instance, you're 30 minutes, 20 minutes down the road, you're going to be coming up to the location with hot water already. You can start hydro excavating. Not only that, this warms your entire tank up, warms the belly floor, separation floor as well, because this tube goes in, up, and then straight to the bottom side of this tank here. If you overfill your water tank, that water recirc is also going to spray out for about a good 5 minutes, because you've now pressurized that whole entire line. It's just going to drip out. Well, I would say pour out. So that really sums up this section here. I guess if you want to utilize this is a good application as well. Where is it? Cabinet controls. Let me see. This looks like it's broke. So this is a heater itself. You can crank up the heat in these heaters. There should be one. There's going to be 2. It's independent from each other. On the other side, you should have a dial, which is going to turn this on if you want to warm up your gloves. You want to warm up this whole box itself. Keep this line warm as well. This is actually an electric heater too, and that helps with the winterization. This is obviously another winterization accessory as well. This jacket. What we're doing is we're running coolant from the engine all the way through this line. It's literally a hydraulic hose. It's getting radiant heat applied to the water line itself. You see why these jackets are a little bit fatter as well, because you also have the coolant lines being pushed back here and redirected to the front. But right now, all that's off. That's why I popped the hood. When winter is coming, you do want to open up these valves. Right now, it's just recirculating in the front. When winter comes, you do want to go ahead and have your truck engine push the coolant to the back.
At all times?
When it's cold, yeah. Okay. I mean, obviously in the summer, we delivered them with them off right now. So that pretty much explains the water side. The accessories, the van body, the air system. So if you want to take a break and do another video, we can talk about the vacuum.